Hello everyone, it is Wednesday, July 8th. So in a few short weeks, my dad and I will be taking a jaunt out to Ohio to do some apartment searching and to meet up with some of the personnel that I need to talk with about credentials and licensure in order to teach out there, which got me thinking that I'll be moving yet again. And it got me on this idea of moving and moving forward and progressing and all this other stuff. But then I really started thinking about how moving and just the general concept of moving, whether you're walking or driving or whatever, is a part of everybody's normal daily routine. Just movement in general shows that a person is alive and that they're moving forward or moving backward or moving sideways or whatever else. Moving shows life. So in a way, moving from a different place from where you're starting from or from wherever you start or from wherever you're coming from, moving from one place to another can also show movement of a different kind. You're moving forward, but you're also progressing your life in a different way, in a different place, or however you want to think about that. But in addition to moving forward and the general concept of moving, I thought about I'm moving out of this house, which I've called home for 20 some years. Now, for those wondering, I did move when I was really little, maybe about 2 or 3 years old. This house here was built for us. We moved in about 1994, and we have lived here ever since. And this house will continue to remain in the family until my parents retire in several years and eventually move somewhere else, whether that be down south or out west or wherever. But before here, we lived in a really small single story, I believe it was a single story house just across the river. While this house was being built, we lived in an apartment because we had sold the house and needed a place to stay, and we couldn't stay anywhere but an apartment. But I don't really remember that move very well because I was so young, so it really didn't have that much of an impact on me as this move is going to have. The only other significant move that I made was when I moved out to college back in 2010 and pretty much stayed out there for the last 4 to 5 years. But I feel this move to Ohio is something bigger than that. It's bigger than moving from Harrisburg back home or moving from home to college, because this is the start of my professional career as a full-blown person in society. It's moving forward, it's showing progress, which is exactly what I wanted and was hoping for. At the same time, it is a little bit nerve-wracking. The bottom line is moving is good, whether it's just regular movement to show that you're alive, but then again, moving in general from one place to another also shows that you're alive and shows that your passion for whatever you're doing is alive, because you're taking yourself from where you're comfortable, moving outside of that, and building the character of yourself, which I think is extremely important in any kind of development professionally. Now, I understand moving can be hard for some of us, that change from something that we know to something that's unknown, but at the same time can be so good for our professional development and our character development. So while moving may be a challenge for some people, including me, this is not an easy transition. There's a lot that has to get done in a very short amount of time, but it will get done. Everything manages to work out in the end. So if you're troubled by moving or troubled by the stress of it, try to think that this is the first step in the development of who I am as a person. I'll see you guys tomorrow.